now, as if too loud a voice might call that wrath upon them again. In the ashes of Haven Reach, a memorial stood rebuilt. Etched into the stone were words that echoed across every system, every star, every frightened whisper of alien tongues. Earth's answer was not diplomacy, it was retribution. It began in fire, not the fire of a sun, but the kind that consumes homes, cities, and lives. The Zuran Dominion, a race known for their cold efficiency and their merciless hierarchies, had grown impatient with humanity's rise among the stars. To them, Earth was a backwater world, a primitive species that had stumbled too quickly into interstellar trade, a threat not in power but in principle. So they made a choice: crush the human frontier colony of New Carthage. The attack was swift, calculated, and drenched in arrogance. Zuran warships descended from orbit like predators circling prey. Civilians screamed as plasma bombardments turned thriving cities into oceans of molten glass. Transmission logs, later recovered, caught the invaders laughing, mocking how humans built monuments as if they would last 1,000 years. Children fled underground shelters that collapsed moments later. Hospitals burned with the wounded still inside. Entire families were atomized in moments. It was not war, it was extermination. At the colony's heart, a single human envoy, sent to negotiate trade terms with the Dominion, was captured alive. His execution was broadcast across the stars, his last words drowned out by alien jeers. The Zuran thought they had sent a message: humanity must stay in its place. They were right about sending a message, but wrong about its meaning. The celebration of arrogance. In the aftermath, the Zuran High Councils reveled in their display. The galaxy's lesser powers took note, some with fear, others with cruel amusement. Humanity, they believed, would do what humanity always did: complain, appeal to treaties, and beg for sympathy. The Zuran broadcast their triumph across the galactic net. In taverns and courts, Dominion officers boasted, "The apes will protest at their little councils," one general sneered, "and then return to their dirt worlds to lick their wounds." Their arrogance grew like a shadow over every star lane. For weeks, they mocked Earth, convinced no retaliation would ever come. Civilized species do not answer fire with fire, they answer with words. And humans, they said, were desperate to prove themselves civilized. The galaxy nodded. Surely Earth would appeal to diplomacy, to reason. Surely the upstart primates would cower before the Dominion's might. But deep in the Sol system, far from alien eyes, humanity prepared something else. Not a petition, not a plea, but a reckoning. The silence before the storm. The galaxy first noticed it in small ways. Earth's transmissions, usually busy with chatter, trade, cultural broadcasts, fell quiet. Civilian ships vanished from major trade routes. Human embassies on alien worlds shuttered their doors, their representatives withdrawing without explanation. Then came the movement of fleets. At first, a trickle, convoys of carriers and war frigates recalled to Sol under the guise of reorganization. But the trickle became a flood. Entire armadas vanished from patrols, slipping into the dark silence of classified hyperspace lanes. Galactic observers whispered nervously. Was Earth mobilizing? No, impossible. Humanity's fleets were respectable but small compared to the Dominion. At least that's what the records said. Then the comms began. Short, chilling bursts intercepted on wideband frequencies. "This is Earth Command, stand down." "This is Terran High Fleet, hostile action will be repaid in full." "This is humanity, we are coming." The Dominion laughed at first. Empty threats, they claimed, a desperate attempt to look strong. But in their laughter, they ignored the growing silence in the void. And silence, they would soon learn, was the herald of something far worse than diplomacy. The breaking of the sky. It began with the siege of Caltharis, a Dominion stronghold world. Without warning, the stars above Caltharis darkened. Dozens of human dreadnoughts emerged from hyperspace, their hulls black, their insignias stripped. They did not announce themselves with fanfare or parley. They simply opened fire. Orbital defense platforms cracked apart under kinetic bombardments. Planetary shields buckled as human weapons, once dismissed as crude. Unleashed storms of tungsten rods, rail slugs, and mass drivers accelerated to relativistic speeds. Cities that had never known fear crumbled in seconds. The Dominion scrambled fighters, only to watch in horror as entire squadrons vanished under the precision of Earth's new weapons. Hunter drones, swarms of AI-guided interceptors that shredded fleets like piranhas in a blood-filled sea. Captured transmissions recorded the shock in the Dominion's command channels. Impossible, how do they have this many ships? We underestimated, they were hiding their strength. This isn't war, it's extermination. For every colony glassed, 10 Dominion outposts fell. For every envoy executed, 100 Dominion officers were hunted down, dragged from their fortresses, and made to face human judgment. Humanity had revealed its true face, not a desperate species clawing for recognition, but a predator patient enough to endure insult until the moment came to strike with impossible fury. The Retribution unleashed. The Retribution was biblical. Entire Dominion fleets, once thought untouchable, were annihilated in battles that lasted mere hours. Human dreadnoughts blotted out the suns of occupied worlds, their formation so vast it cast eclipses across continents. Where Dominion armies once marched, orbital fire rained down like storms of iron. Cities turned to rubble, oceans boiled, and fortresses melted under bombardments so precise they left no survivors. Earth's fleets did not conquer, they did not negotiate, they annihilated. On one world, Dominion commanders gathered their civilians into shielded bunkers, boasting of their impenetrable defenses. The humans did not attack the bunkers directly. Instead, they dropped tungsten rods from orbit into the planet's tectonic fault lines. Hours later, the ground itself tore open, swallowing whole cities as earthquakes shattered the world from within. Survivors described it as if Earth had taught the planet to hate its masters. Human ground forces were no less terrifying. Armored divisions deployed like thunder, their exosuits towering, their weapons hissing with plasma arcs. They moved through Dominion cities not as soldiers but as executioners, systematically dismantling every symbol of Dominion rule. Civilians were spared, soldiers were not. The Zuran Dominion had prided itself on cruelty. Now it was learning what cruelty truly meant when wielded by those who had been patient too long. The shattered silence. When the smoke finally cleared, the galaxy was not celebrating. It was silent. The Dominion, once the great power of the spiral arm, lay in ruins. Worlds burned. Fleets were gone. Their leaders either executed or vanished without a trace. What survived of their empire were scattered colonies and whispered warnings. And those warnings spread faster than fire. Never provoke Earth. Alien powers across the stars took notice. They remembered the human envoy executed for sport. They remembered the laughter of the Dominion, certain of human weakness. And they remembered what followed, fleets black as night, raining fire and ruin until arrogance itself was reduced to ash. In council halls and shadowed bars, the words were spoken with dread. Earth's patience is vast, but their vengeance is infinite. The galaxy finally understood. Humanity's answer was never diplomacy. It was retribution.